You're staring at your to-do list. It's been 3 hours. You haven't moved, and the guilt is starting to eat you alive. You've called yourself lazy, unmotivated, maybe even a failure.
But what if I told you that laziness doesn't actually exist? What if your inability to just do it is actually your brain's way of saving your life? You know, for so many of us, this invisible weight is just a daily, exhausting reality. We spend so much energy fighting ourselves, totally unaware of the powerful biological forces operating right beneath the surface.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1. The laziness illusion, shattering the moral failing myth.
For generations, we've been conditioned to view this so-called laziness as a moral failing, right? Like it's just a lack of willpower. It creates this toxic shame spiral that tells us we just need to push harder and discipline ourselves more, and we wear that label like a heavy badge of shame. But scientifically, the reality is entirely different. What we're actually experiencing is nervous system overload in survival mode. Seriously, when you feel physically or mentally paralyzed, it is not a weakness of character. Your biology is actively overriding your willpower to protect you from what it perceives as a real threat.
Moving on to Section 2, Nervous System Overload Explained, when the brain says stop.
Think of your brain like a computer with way too many open tabs. Eventually, the whole system just freezes, and no matter how many times you try to execute a command, like telling yourself to just get up and do the dishes, it completely refuses. The research we're unpacking in today's explainer dives deep into this exact phenomenon, and it actually identifies 7 specific signs that prove you're dealing with a biological traffic jam, not just a lack of motivation.
So let's rapidly run through these 7 signs derived straight from the source material. Number 1, feeling lazy, that heavy, immovable sensation. 2, emotional numbing, where you just feel a profound sense of detachment. 3, entering survival mode, where literally everything feels like a life or death threat. 4 is unrefreshing rest. You're lying down, but you're definitely not recovering. 5, the inability to switch gears from high alert back to calm. 6, a complete lack of safety signals actually reaching your brain. And 7, the night owl spike, that bizarre burst of late-night energy. If you're not in your head right now, I really want you to know your experiences are totally valid, and they are recognized biological responses.
Which brings us to Section 3, Emotional Numbing and Survival, Turning Down the Volume.
And this brilliantly illustrates what happens when the stimuli in your life, the emails, the chores, all the anxieties, just become too much. Your brain literally steps in to manage the surge through emotional numbing. It's a survival mode state where the brain intentionally turns emotions down to protect against nervous system overload. It's an absolutely profound protective mechanism. Think about a circuit breaker in your house, right? When a massive power surge threatens to start a fire, the breaker automatically flips, shutting off the power to save the house. Your brain is doing the exact same thing. It's not that you don't care about your work or your life or your family. It's that caring has temporarily become biologically too expensive, so your brain just tripped the breaker.
Which brings us to a highly relatable question. Why does doing nothing still feel so incredibly exhausting? I mean, you might spend an entire Sunday technically doing nothing, just sitting on the couch, staring at a wall, yet you end the day feeling like you've run a mental marathon. It feels so unfair, doesn't it? But remember that circuit breaker. On the outside, yeah, you're perfectly still. But under the hood, your engine is redlining. Your nervous system is flooded with stress hormones, fighting this invisible, exhausting battle to regulate itself.
Let's look at Section 4, Why Rest Remains Unrefreshing. The inability to switch gears.
You try so hard to give your body a break, but the rest you get feels completely hollow. Why? Because your body is secretly still trapped in survival mode. True rest isn't just about lying down, it's an actual physiological state. If we compare a neurotypical nervous system to an ADHD system, the difference is honestly stark. While a neurotypical brain genuinely relaxes, easily switches to rest mode, and registers safety, an ADHD brain remains completely tense in survival mode. The clutch is effectively jammed. It doesn't know how to switch gears or register that the environment is actually safe. Your physical body might be in a soft bed in a completely quiet room, but your internal alarm system, it is still blaring, constantly scanning the horizon for threats.
Now, what's really interesting about this next part is Section 5, the night owl spike, the late night awakening.
Let's walk through a typical daily timeline here. At 9 a.m., the demands of the day begin, and boom, you're immediately overloaded and stuck. By 2 p.m., that emotional numbing has set in. Your brain's circuit breaker flips just to help you survive the afternoon. At 7 p.m., you attempt to relax on the couch, but you experience that unrefreshing rest because your body is still super tense. And then 11 p.m. hits.
Suddenly, out of nowhere, you feel this profound urge to organize your entire closet, or, I don't know, start a brand new hobby. Why does this happen? Because the rest of the world is finally asleep. The emails stop, the expectations pause, the nervous system finally finds the distinct lack of pressure, the profound safety required to actually switch gears. It knows nobody is watching and absolutely nothing is being actively demanded of it.
I want you to really, truly internalize this. You are not broken. Your nervous system is just overloaded and stuck in survival mode. Your brain is literally just trying to save your life. It is time we officially transition away from all that self-blame and step firmly into self-compassion. Your periods of being stuck are not moral failures. They are vital, protective pauses orchestrated by a nervous system that is just trying to shield you from a world that is moving way too fast.
The way we frame our internal experience really dictates how we live. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a question to think about. Now that you know your nervous system is just protecting you, how will you change the way you speak to yourself tomorrow? Will you offer yourself some grace instead of guilt? Will you recognize the overload before you automatically label it laziness? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating biological reality with me. Take care of yourselves and remember to actually listen to what your nervous system is trying to tell you.